the Southern Hot Summers, the Weir's Hot Summers. Get sunburned. That's one of my favourite places to walk. But it's always windy there, wasn't it?
Battleships.
Iraq.
Glad
God, that's over, yeah.
What?
That's the old arts building. Oh, we've had some nights there as well. I like it there, actually.
They were really good,
It's
been around for ages.
However, there were massive advances in technology over this period. All right, the iPod back then was never as good as the 8-pod we have today, but never before could you listen to music, look at photographs and watch movies on the go.
Obviously there have been huge advances in technology over this period, and I mean, in hindsight, do you think they were a good thing or a bad thing?
I'd say they were probably more of a good thing than a bad thing. But I think there's fors and against for most new modern technology. I think it's all been very good for man, but I'm not sure how good it's been for the rest of the planet in some ways. I often wonder too about the more complicated and sophisticated a piece of machinery it is, the more difficult it is to repair simply, and there's nothing more frustrating than having a piece of technology that you can't fix. And when it breaks down on you, like my computer does every now and again, and I don't know how to put it together, it's too difficult for me, so I have to take it to somebody who can repair it. Same with my television, same with cars. The technology is so sophisticated that it needs somebody really well qualified to put it right. Whereas perhaps in the old days you could get your screwdriver out and then open the back up and fix it.
Well, they say, I mean, all advances you could say are good, but they started, I remember, when everyone had a mobile phone, everyone had one, and then all of a sudden they started introducing these iPods, you know, your MP3 players, and everyone had to have them. And suddenly you found that kind of with this great technology that everyone could have, people were just plugged into their iPods, plugged into their MP3 players, talking on their phones, and no one actually did anything face to face anymore. So you've got hundreds of kids that have grown up not really knowing how to speak to each other. They just sit there with their earphones in, so they don't quite know how to talk or even hold a conversation. So people just end up sitting on their own, listening to their iPods, and you haven't got actually any proper, you know, communication going on between anyone. So when it all first started kicking off, you just remember thinking, you know, oh, it's great, you just do music wherever you go, but then that's all people did. So it's just an absolute waste of time, because now no one really knows what to do and how to form kind of, you know, friendships and things like that. So people just get lost and confused.
And I can remember being, when I was growing up, it was all vinyl records. I had a huge collection of those, and then they became obsolete when videos came in. And CDs. And then the videos became obsolete when DVDs were developed. So goodness knows what will come next.
There's a whole wall, wasn't there? With Blu-ray and HD TV.
Yeah.
What does HD stand for? Humdrum?
High diagnostics?
No, it's not, is it? It's high definition.
Don't ask me.
And DVD, what does that stand for? No.
And the amazing thing about the technology too is how it all develops to link in with every other bit of technology. For example, you can use your digital camera or your phone and connect it up to the computer and print off your pictures. And so processing laboratories for photographs have kind of disappeared. And people like graphic designers who used to design, quite expensive I suppose to go to a graphic designer and have leaflets and things printed, you can do all that yourself at home now with the programs that are on the computer. So it's making things a lot easier for ordinary people, but it's probably put some people out of business, yet on the other hand it's opened up a lot of new business opportunities for people who know about computers and the technology to keep it going.
I remember there being some huge advances in technology. I remember that technology was no longer just a gadget thing, something to have. It was no longer a consumer object. It became something that was kind of necessary, like to be able to communicate and run a business. you needed to use a computer. You need that technology to help you kind of make your living, survive. And so it was no longer just something that was desirable, it was something that was necessary.
Oh, technology at the time, it used to baffle me. I was beginning, towards the end of my career as a minister and as an MP as well, and I was quite pleased to leave when I did, because I could never ever get my head around the new technology. iPods, B-pods, Z-pods, I never knew what they were talking about. A mobile phone, all I wanted was to actually dial a number and talk to somebody, but there were so many gadgets on the phone, I didn't know what I was doing. Emails, give me a pen and paper every time. The clerk, my secretary used to have to tell me how to work an email. An email, you send it, and the whole world knows about it if you make a mistake. Give me the quill and paper at any time. Make a mistake, then you can screw it up and throw it in the bin and start again, and nobody knows. No, technology left me cold, and I was happy to leave it.
So looking back, overall, was 2007 a good year?
We started getting these gorgeous, long, hot summers.
Remember the headlines at the time? We are gonna scissor machine. Boy, did we scissor one.
Oh yeah, like bangers and mash.
But then there are still consumer items like the iPod came.
Everything started to get shut down.
In all of that, lots and lots of people losing their jobs.
Because I could never ever get my